In this video I want to talk about how psychedelics helped me in dealing with injury and death. Because it's a tough one, you know? When you have all these openings and insights into psychedelic space, you're facing death head on, letting go of yourself, having this ego dissolution experience at times, right? You're maybe even going through convulsions and like very heavy psychedelic work. And in this space itself, it feels like we're gonna open up to that. It's like there's no other way than just to open up to that. But then when we come back to our day-to-day life, to our ordinary life, to this life right here, I found that this is where the integration work happens, right? The death of a loved one right here. Some heavy injury, illness, physical issues. And I've noticed the tendency of the mind to attach to these situations, right? And say like, oh no, this is important now. This identification with the self in our ordinary day-to-day of like, I am hurt. And then I've observed many people spiral then into this suffering of the attachment to these difficult life situations. But these are where the integration is happening. And that's what I want to talk about today, and how psychedelic space helped me with that integration of facing those challenging moments in our day-to-day life. Hey, I'm Virgo and this is Psychedelic Actualization. On this channel we talk about topics like self-realization, self-actualization, and working with psychedelics to live a more authentic and fulfilling life. If you're curious about 5 steps on how you can embody and integrate your psychedelic insights on a day-to-day basis, then you can download my free guide below. Link is in the video description. So, for me recently it was just a soft one, you know. I recognize and acknowledge that there's much tougher situations than this one, but it's like the little puppy of my parents died, and he was 2 years old, and it was very sad, you know. It's like that's kind of like an occurrence of death in my life at the moment. And I injured myself. I ran my first half marathon and I injured myself and I twisted my ankle and now I have torn ligaments and I can't walk anymore. That's a whole different story for another video. But in both these situations, what I recognized, you know, is my initial reaction to them and how beautiful it felt, you know, both of these events. And I guess that's kind of the fruit of that integration, of that psychedelic integration, is feeling how, seeing and appreciating the beauty of these situations. And kind of like facing reality head on. That's kind of the practice, the core practice that I'm practicing is which psychedelic space taught me, is to be present with each and every situation, not move into denial, not move into anger or frustration or attachment, but face the situation head on. It's like, okay, I almost can't believe that this little puppy died, but it's like, this is what it is now. Now what? What's the most aligned way to embrace that situation? To face that truth. And then I was feeling like, okay, I stopped working. And I was crying for a little bit. You know, it's like, it's not that, it's like, but there was so much beauty in the crying. I was so sad, but I was allowing myself to fully feel that sadness. Right? And before my psychedelic work, when I was younger, it was not that way. You know, it's like there was more tendency to suppress, push down, not feel these emotions fully. not face reality head on, but rather distract myself with a movie or with, I don't know what it is, right? And I've recognized that that might be the case for many people. But the psychedelic integration and these insights from the psychedelic space, to integrate them, meant for me to fully feel that in the moment, cry. I was like, okay, I'm sad. And then I was moving into singing, into worshipping creation and life and the unexplainable, not understandable ways of God, of how the mother is working. Really like tapping into this sense of humility, right? Also another aspect of the psychedelic experience, watching and appreciating the mystery. Like this is there's such a grand intelligence in this creation, in this life. The Divine Mother being in control of when a life is coming and going. So I was singing to the mother and kind of remembering that truth from that psychedelic experience, you know? This deep appreciation of her love in acting in our reality that our human mind can't comprehend at times. Beautiful, right? It's like I found that there was such a great beauty in that process of grieving, right? And holding that perspective of beauty in the grief itself is like, that's such a beautiful way of grieving, I found. And with the injury as well, it was like I was running and then I was twisting my ankle and I was running more, and then I recognized, like, okay, this is an injury now. I can't walk, I can't drive my car, I can't do anything anymore. I can't even go to buy groceries. Facing that situation head on, right in the moment of like, okay, this is what it is now. Not with the sense of regret of like, I'm so bad. It's like, how could I be so sloppy, or how could this happen? Why me, God? It's like, no, it's just like this deep acceptance, this deep embrace of like, hey, this is what it is now. Thank you. Like, wow, what can I learn from this? Oh, this hurts. Like, but almost like seeing it with a sense of humor. Not being too involved in it, but it's like, this is from this background awareness that, hey, this is how the story is emerging now. I'm not going to be able to walk for the next 6 weeks properly. Maybe. It's like, wow, how miraculous. I wonder what's coming up next. Right? And it's on all these aspects of life. It's just like this unfolding of one challenge after the next. One tough thing hitting us in our human life after the next. That's inevitable. You know, that's just part of this human experience. Sickness, injury, death. That's it. Like, and I feel like it's my duty, what I've learned from the psychedelic experience, to actively appreciate that. To come to a sense of embracing and facing reality, not taking it too seriously, but taking the grief, taking the sadness, taking the pain, taking it in fully, but with the lightheartedness. Say like, wow, this is what it is now. How miraculous. Thank you, God. I don't understand your ways of working, but it's like, that's love. And that's what I wanted to share today, because it was so present for me recently with this death of the puppy and this injury. And I know and acknowledge that many people are having a much more tough fate, which might even be harder to take on. But that's, what else is there to do, right? The other choice is just to suffer. And we're free to do that as well. That's beautiful. But it's kind of relating to this path and practice of Buddhism, right? Recognizing that life is suffering, there's a cost to suffering, there is a way out of suffering, and that way is the Eightfold Path, kind of this detachment, this practicing of a detachment, and appreciation. I found it's kind of a layer and flavor I add on top of that. In what ways are you struggling right now to integrate your psychedelic experiences? I'm curious, what is life hitting you with right now? I found there's always something around the corner. After every high and after every acceleration of excitement, there's something coming up, which is like, boom, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Always a surprise. Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, if you want to talk to me one-on-one, about your challenges, about how to integrate your psychedelic insights and this sense of appreciation, then you can book a call with me and we can talk about that. And otherwise, I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next one. Much love, and all the best, and all the strength on your journey of integration.